There are many things that cause emergency situations, and it is important that when disasters occur, urgent assessment of the situation is done and actions are taken to help the people affected. These are the basics needed in the event of any type of disaster: earthquakes, floods, droughts, volcanic eruptions, wars, etc. The government and some charity organisations may have limited supplies of food, bottled water, clothes, and tents, etc. that can be dispatched immediately. Hopefully, further supplies will be supplied by various business and public donations for follow-up aid to disaster area. Good administration is the key to successful operations. The administration team need to work quickly to ensure they obtain and dispatch everything that is needed to the disaster area. Urgent items to be sent immediately they are available by the best route, and advise the local aid agencies in or near the disaster area, aware of the content and destination. For example, airport or parachute drop zone, seaport or town. Obviously, the initial supplies will have to be inspected and dispatched quickly. You will have to check that medicinal products, food and bottled water is in date, and medical and fire and flood equipment is in working order and properly packed for dispatch. Other products such as tents and clothes, etc. will only need a quick inspection. On the later deliveries, all things will need to be inspected in more detail. All products need to be collated into product types and packed securely for the type of transport on which they will travel, after which they need to be grouped into dispatch location in the warehouse ready for collection. The quickest route is usually by air, and unless it is a parachute drop, it may be possible to send some people on the same flight as the urgent supplies and others on follow-up flights. Hopefully, when supplies are received, there will be local people and aid agency staff on site to arrange distribution. Sending by ship will have more capacity for supplies and equipment and passengers, but will take longer to arrive. Whichever route is chosen, it will almost inevitably need some form of road transport to get supplies and people to the actual disaster area. In an emergency, the on-site staff mentioned on this slide will carry out their duties quickly and ensure everything is quickly delivered to the areas most in need. Unfortunately, in the initial aftermath of a disaster, there are probably only local inhabitants to receive and dispatch urgent supplies to those most in need. And we have to assume that they will do their best to ensure that is what happens. Initially, emergency services staff will arrive with basic equipment that will enable temporary medical centres to be set up and basic fire and flood equipment that will enable urgent problems to be dealt with. Both should be followed with supplies that will enable more permanent clinical services to be set up and more versatile fire and flood equipment to be sent wherever needed. In the first instance, we have to assume that the receipt and distribution of supplies is handled by local people and that aid agencies arrive quickly and set up an organised receiving and distribution centre. It is worth noting that there will always be a need to provide emergency services to people in distress. Some emergencies are caused by natural disasters, others by wars or political decisions relative to the disaster area. The slide says it all. I have typed in bold the word need to emphasize the difference between the words need and want. Having been born just before the Second World War, I have experienced shortages of food and other supplies, and am grateful for the way in which my parents were able to keep us children fed and clothed. It was a time when the local community helped each other with whatever was made available. Clothes passed down to younger children in the family or neighbours' younger children. Clothes were also repaired time and again until completely worn out. Old newspapers were cut into toilet paper squares. I'm very grateful for all the luxuries we have today. All people are equal, whatever their colour, creed, intelligence, sexual orientation, or any other difference you care to name. As an idealist, I would like all the people of this world to work together to make it a loving and caring place where everyone reaps the benefits of Earth's bounteous products and can live happily together. All through history, there has been a bit between rich and poor countries and people. Although there are many natural disasters, there have also been many occasions where politicians have been the cause of the problem, and others when politicians have had the means to help, but have refused to do so for economic reasons. For instance, how doing so will reduce or increase the cost of commodities, etc. I hope that in future nations will work together for the benefit of all people. A bullet point presentation could be one way of setting out your plan. If emergency services are provided quickly, it is possible that towns affected will recover and soon return to normal. Wishing you all a long, happy and carefree life. Bye for now.